If you were to ask me what the worst part of launching a subscription is, I'll be really honest and tell you it's the tech. Setting up something new is always a pain in the you know what, because if you're not super technical and just love working in that zone all the time, you're going to have to figure out some new things and learn your way around the software. So, in this episode today, I'm going to share with you a little bit about my behind the scenes journey on what I've chosen for my subscription tech, what is included when making this kind of decision, and how I'm navigating through it. And I'm also going to give you a chance to get onto my wait list for my subscription, which will be launching at the end of December, early January, because I can't wait to share more about it. So, choosing a subscription or a membership is can be very complicated because there's so many choices, and those choices can feel overwhelming because you'll hear from other people, I love this and I love that and I love all this, but there's no context around it. You don't know why they love it. Is it because the particular things that they need are best on those platforms, or did they just get used to it because they started on that software a long time ago? Like, there's no understanding of what really makes good software for one person and for one type of program than another. So you have to do a little bit of your digging into why this or that platform makes the most sense. So when I get asked about my tech for my membership, I always say, well, look, I've been in business for a long time. I've had all these tools already, which you can actually go onto my website at scalingdeep.com/toolbox to see what I recommend and use. And that has been partly pieced together because of all the different things that I started using at different times before I launched my membership. But the subscription is a little different. So I decided, instead of going with all the usual places, which is my patchwork membership, which has Heartbeat and Thrivecart and Zenler and you name it, I decided to bring it all together, and I chose Funnel Gorgeous. Now, there's a few reasons for this, but I'm going to share with you the first why. Okay. So, for the first reason why it made the most sense is because this is going to be a very low ticket subscription. The founding members rate is going to be $9 a month. Okay. Like super low. And it really needs to be easy for people to click in and buy, and also click and unsubscribe or leave at any time. And if you've got a very low ticket subscription, you're hoping for high volume because that's what's going to make it all work and make sense. And you cannot afford to be bringing people in and unsubscribing them manually and back and forth using your hands, like using your own admin. That's just going to be too labor intensive. And it's not a relationship oriented program as much as having, say, a program where you might have specialized onboarding, where it might be higher ticket and you get to know your members and you get a sense of when they'll leave and they don't mind reaching out to ask, hey, I think I might go, or, how do I leave or unsubscribe or change my credit card? And you've got all that personal touch. But the new US federal guidelines, the FTC, has come out with a one-click unsubscribe policy. The gist of it is that you have to make it as easy to unsubscribe as to buy and subscribe in the first place. And that is going to be especially tricky for larger subscriptions or memberships where you're not having a personal relationship with every single person. You just want to make sure it's easy. And so when they one click unsubscribe, you want them to basically stop paying and stop getting access to the content whenever their month wraps up or that payment period. And it makes it so much easier to have it all in one place. So that is a huge, huge part of making a decision to have a platform that can host your subscription and your subscription emails, even if possible, because You might have a marketing email platform, but you also really want to make sure that people are getting reminders like your payment failed, put in another credit card, you've got 7 days or whatever you want to say, or you'll be automatically unsubscribed, etc. Like you really want to make sure that you are not chasing up tiny fractions of revenue and payments and just being really organized with it and not giving stuff away for free. Like imagine if you had 1,000 people in a low ticket, like really low ticket subscription, and you have no clue who's paying, who stopped paying, who should be in there, who shouldn't, because you've got to work it out manually. That's just way too much work. It just doesn't make sense. So it's a really good idea to have a software that gives you an opportunity to not only host the subscription itself, but to have an email associated with it as well as payment. So those three things are essential. And that's not my setup right now at all. Everything's a bit separate, right? So I needed to pick something. And I know a lot about FG funnels. I've been working with one of the owners, Julie Chanel, for the last couple of years in her private group. And I have gained so much value from being in there. And I know how much integrity they have behind the platform and making sure that people are happy and satisfied and building businesses they love. So, in addition to that, I also had access to one of their amazing Launch Gorgeous programs called Subscription Edition. So, that allowed me to actually go through the training in that program of how to set up my subscription with the templates that they also have in Funnel Gorgeous. So, while their program worked for anyone building in any suite of platforms and software, having it be in the very one that they're teaching from, because they have designed templates specifically for this inside their program with tutorials and trainings and the how-tos and the specialized templates for your subscription sales page, for your wait list, for your thank you page and all of that, which just made it easier for me to be able to just sort of like plug and play. I mean, it's not all plug and play. It's not a super simple platform, but it allowed me to design the marketing side of my subscription in there as well. So in addition to having the payments, the easy unsubscribe, one click, the members area, and the email, I also have a really kick-ass sales page, the waitlist page, and all that ready to go. So it's all in one place. And that is just going to make eventually my life easier, even though right now it's a little bit more challenging. The other thing too is I mentioned this in the last few episodes, is that my current brand is scaling deep, and that's not really in line with my new subscription. While they are both working together, because I have a membership business that teaches memberships and subscriptions and online business offers and models and growth and all that around all of that. And a subscription is a definitely like a great example of how I'm building a subscription, and that teaches my members 100%. They still should not have the same URL. So I will need to have a separate brand for that anyway. Now, if I was building subscription and it was based like exactly around my current brand, not for ADHD-ish women, which is like a lot of them in my membership business are, I would perhaps try to figure out how to host it on my current suite or move everything over to one. But just as it turns out now, I've been thinking about trying to find a more comprehensive, more advanced all-in-one software for a while. And this just gave me the perfect excuse to jump in and figure it out with all the trainings I need to make sure that it's smooth, that it looks good, that the sales page is irresistible, and all that, because that's going to be really, really valuable to getting people to be excited and want to join. And then it has to, again, make sense. So that is how I decided to do that. I'm also was thinking of having my whole umbrella brand under lisaprincic.com, because I do have that already. And I did change my Facebook page from Scaling Deep to Lisa Princic, because that can house all my brands. And this YouTube channel is Lisa Princic, and my Instagram is Lisa Princic. So it does all make sense to have things under a personal brand with separate products with maybe separate URLs that sell them. And I would love to keep it that way for simplicity, trust me. But I'm having an issue with Facebook and I can't resolve it, and it's an email not working with it. So I am having troubles getting access to my business manager, and I would definitely like to start a new Facebook ads account for this new offer, because you can have one page and two different ads accounts under that page, but I can't access my business manager to be able to add the new ads account. So long story short, there are hiccups that happen along the way. I'm just sharing my story because that's what's happening for me right now. And if I can't resolve that, I will end up creating a new business manager. So I'll have a new page, which will be under my new brand, and then a new ads account, because I think separating those two is really important, especially as I try to build audiences of traffic and video views and things. And those are on two different things. So I will keep those separate and make sure that I am like targeting the right people, the people who are showing interest in what I'm delivering on each side. So that is taking a little bit more time to figure out, but it's coming together and I've got lots of support. And that's what you really need when you're in this kind of a shift around software and around starting something new that's not just like, I have 10 workshops, I'm going to do the next one. That's a little bit different. That's more of a, what's a good topic? And it might take you a while to brainstorm, and it might take you a while to come up with a new program under your current brand. But when you're starting a new brand, you do have to go through these things and make sure that you're coming up with a solution that simplifies your life as much as possible. Now, I'm also in a position where I've been in business for so long that I am ready to take on more advanced software, because Funnel Gorgeous is based on Go High Level with like massive amount of support. And so there are very advanced marketing and automation software, which will work really well with ads down the road when I get that sorted out. And I'm ready for that, but I'm not very technical, and I don't, well, I am, I can do it, but I hate it. It's like, that's my, like, my kryptonite. Like, I do not love playing in tech. I do not like it when things don't work. I just don't have the patience for it. I'm not curious about it. It's not something that I enjoy. But I'm at a place right now in my business where I have the bandwidth and the experience and the familiarity to take it on. I know how to follow instructions, and it's not all Greek to me because I've been doing it for a while. So it makes it really easy for me to jump in and get the help of my assistant and the trainings and the tutorials. And even my partner, who happens to be very technical, I have roped him into helping me with some of the domain stuff and the figuring out the problems and all that, which really helps me sail through with positivity while I am about to embark on launching something so new to me that it's definitely outside of my comfort zone. So that's my tech summary for my subscription. There's a lot of options available, but I really like this one for future me and my future business that is going to house all of this and be able to handle those complications and make sure that everything's talking to each other more smoothly. And I have to just say too right now is that I feel behind. And if you're like me, you might feel behind in a bunch of things that you're doing. It's a very challenging to have this ADHD thing and feel like nothing is ever straight. Like, even though I'm a planner, I'm organized, I love having goals, I still have roller coasters of energy and all kinds of stuff that I deal with that prevent me from having it feel like everything is a smooth journey. And I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs are kind of in that boat, right? Like, you're attracted to things that you're in your superpowers and your zone of genius. And that's what makes this so much fun. But then as a wearing all the hats business owner, you're going to be dealing with all the things. And even if you haven't launched a business yet, you're still managing all the things in your life, and it can be really stressful. So I did create a little tool in advance of my upcoming subscription launch, which is going to contain a lot more. And it's all about helping you to redefine your success and stop feeling behind all the time, because feeling behind all the time, it leads to chronic guilt. And I have noticed by watching a lot of people around me who are really stuck and feeling they can't get out of their situation, feel really guilty about not performing as well as they'd like to in everything. So this little exercise that you can find at scalingdeep.com/behind is a walkthrough of helping you go through all your experiences and all your priorities and help you figure out how to focus so you can start taking action on some really important areas. Not all of them, just a couple that you've defined as being really important and that would give you a lot of satisfaction. So I'm going to encourage you to go on over to that. And you'll also be the first to know when my subscription is getting ready to launch in the next month and a half. If you have any other questions about how to launch a subscription, please come over and find me at Instagram, send me a DM, or post a comment below. I would love to hear from you. Bye for now.